Hi lovelies, welcome back to the diving in deep to the beautiful wooden tarot. We are at the last suit, which is suit of bones or suit of coins, the earth suit in this deck. Must say from what I've seen, the suit of bones in this deck, how it's shown and how clever many of the cards are, that this suit is my favorite out of them all. So let's start with the gods, or the god of bones, the mountaintops. You can also see some clouds, so the earth element here, and the blue eye. We are taking the gods all in front of us on the separate video, but like I said, with the other gods, not much related to the actual what's going on here, because you can't see the mountaintops. Yes, the goal, or but all this is not present in here at all. This is the creation. And what I also noticed, the hand gestures or the positions of the gods are different. We will look into this with comparing them side by side in a separate video. But god of bones, or the ace of coins, this being, for me at least, the thigh bone, or the bone that is biggest in all animals and human beings, the main bone that helps us stand, let's say. Also the thickest, largest, strongest bone. So there's this hint to the earth and the supportive earth energy with this bone here. So next is the two of coins, or two of bones. Again, the infinity sign here, as in all twos in this deck. This time it makes the Rider-Waite two element appearance, so to speak. I'm not Englishing so well today. Apparently I just finished a hour and a half client reading, so I'm all in my language in my head, so that's not important. Let's proceed. Jawbone. What is the bone that moves the most if we are counting out the fingers? Our jaws. Jaws are the only bones that help us make sounds somewhat, but also to stay alive, because we have to eat. So does every animal. So, but here the jawbone is actually in two parts, which means they are not making unified cooperation, let's say this. So it's one of them missing the biting tooth or the fang here, and so it tells about the unbalanced situation and somewhat the how can I say, the unbalancedness, basically, because two separate jaw bones are not making any good. You have to make them work together in order for them to work for you. So it's somewhat making sense Rider-Waite system-wise. Getting things unbalanced and the jaws are on the move and like, yeah, let's say on the move all the time. So this movement here is making much sense with the jaw bones. Next, looks like an elbow bone. So elbow grease, the work. Even animals, they use their elbows to, let's say, dig, to climb, to run, and the elbow growing mushrooms. In one sense, it can't be good when your elbow is growing mushrooms, right? Fungus, something is wrong, but in this deck the growing mushrooms are indicating the fruit of the work. There's something that is growing out of it, so you can see the growth from this movement. The elbow grease has to be inserted in order to grow this result. So this is that. Now this one made me giggle when I saw it first, and I love a good pun when I see one. I'm not sure if it's intended, but it's awesome nevertheless. This is chest, the rib cage or chest, you know, where you can also keep your treasures in. Like, as the chest is for protecting our most vital organs. So you can see the protecting, the holding things close to your chest with this rib cage. But also it is half of a rib cage. So it's suggesting that you can't actually benefit from only half. So what's the use for having a half of a rib cage? In general, you're like having an illusion that you're protecting or holding things close, but actually you really can't, because things just don't work this way. And also the rib cage is suggesting the structure in holding things close to your chest. Sometimes if this card would come up in a reading, then it can be read both ways, either like this card, exactly, either it's calling you up to hold things close to your heart right now or close to your chest, but also reminding that you don't see the whole picture actually, maybe, and you having only half of a protection you might maybe need. So something like that. 5 of coins is so beautifully shown, being a shoulder blade. I'm not sure how this bone is called, but in human beings, when this is like broken, it happens a lot. It's pretty common trauma for motorcyclists. If you fall, you probably will break this Long time ago, when I rode all the motorcycles, many of my friends have broken this bone, the shoulder blade bone, and it's really painful and renders the whole hand useless for quite a while, because it's not a bone that heals really quickly. Also, but in animals, they are on their 4 legs, which means the shoulder blade, if this is shattered like it's shown in here, they can't move. If it's, let's say, broken thigh or other bone in leg, you can jump on your 3 legs and hunt and run away from danger and all this. But the shoulder bone in animals probably heals as slowly and painfully as in human beings. So having this happened, it renders you motionless even, I want to say. You can't climb a tree, you can't dig a hole, you can't hunt, you can't run. This is like a really bad bone to break in your body. If we are talking about animals, this affects the survival ability and all this. So this is the saddest thing that can happen to, and it's not just broken from one place, it's shattered in pieces, which means the healing time is increased, and the pain it causes is increased. Also, you are having hard time to find anything to eat, or run from danger, or dig yourself a, I don't know, hideout. Or animals that climb trees, you just can't, absolutely can't climb a tree with broken elbow bone. So it really shows the misery and the really hard place of the 5 of coins. So next is the 6 of bones or 6 of coins. Giving and receiving makes sense. The paw, it's not a human hand. I'm not sure whose is it, maybe bear paw. But nevertheless, handing, giving, receiving, also holding on to something if needed. And it's pretty self-explanatory. And the nail bones in here suggest that sometimes you have to dig your claws, hold on to some things with your claws clenched, I'm not sure if this is even a word, into your whatever you are having, because sometimes handing out things is not benefiting, not you, or you are just not the receiver, or you are just being used by someone. So beautiful. Whoever this paw belongs to, it's simply and beautifully shown. Next is the 7 of bones, the 7 of coins. Again, mushrooms growing out of, this time I want to say this is the thigh bone, the largest bone we talked about on the God card. Growing something. As you can see, the work has been grown and all that. So the work that has been done has now given fruit. But one piece is loose here from the bone, suggesting that maybe it's time, maybe it's worn out, and you need to take a break to just evaluate or to just take some time to rest before moving on, because most of the work is done. You can enjoy the fruits now for a while before next cycle begins. I'm not sure if this is a piece of the bone itself, or is it the thing that the joint bone, which is not the bone actually, that goes in there. We can actually hurt those with the ligaments. No, this is not it. I don't know this word. I hope you understand what I mean. The thing that is between two bones, like white, little bit translucent material, like in our ears, this crunchy bone. So if this we can hurt this with overworking or overdoing, and it heals faster than the bone itself, but still makes pain when we strain it or dislocate it. And here I see that it is a warning or the call to take now time off to enjoy what you're grown, and maybe take time off to plan for the next step. 8 of bones or 8 of coins. Right off the bat you can see the structure, yet the backbone or the spine is only one thing that holds us together. Our head would fall into our butt if it wouldn't be this bone present. Yet it is made of not one piece, it's flexible. It can it allows you to be flexible, and so is the constant like learning things and being flexible around what you're doing in order to create your income or skill onto it. So the little pieces, every single one, they are working as one to benefit the animal, the person, whoever. If we break only one from here, we are pretty much immobile or worse. So we have to take care of our back, and if you fall on your back, you hurt it, you can't actually work. So how it's even related to this card, this is like the structure of structure, and also not rigid structure, but flexible structure in learning, in honing your skill into your income, into your mastery, so to speak, and enjoying it, because we don't acknowledge we have this in us, but without this there would have been no such beautiful life for us. So we have to take care of this. We have to maybe acknowledge that and be thankful that we have such a beautiful structure of bone holding us together and holding us up. So this guy, the work is holding his life up. Like, he does things, he gets his living out of this, and he presents the work with pride. So in humans we stand tall and are proud. When we are talking about animals, animal bones, because they are on their all fours, are horizontal. So, or yeah, they are horizontal. So this is what the diversity of understanding every aspect of the tools you have, and we all have it. We all have the opportunity. We all have the skeleton, the spine to build our self upon it, like with working, like with working out. Everything that we do thanks to this bone. So if this would come up in a reading, this talks about the little details coming together and creating this beautiful flexible base for something. Also the structure of getting things done and carefully working with something that holds our future and ourselves up, or helps to do that. So the 9 of bones looks like the hip bone to me. I'm not sure how it's in English, but very feminine. From the start, I can't unsee the mask in here, the Batman-like thing with the eyes and horns. But it can also be read as something cooking in someone's head. You know, you can always go with how the card appears within the spread or the reading. But the butt bone is this is also a butt bone. Let's be honest. We sit on it, so you can sit in you can sit in a good place, because all the things are growing. You have everything in you, or concealed. It's not outside, under control, so to speak. And this would be if it's a feminine or female animal bone. I know there are differences between male and female human hip bone, but therefore I'm sure the bones are different in animals as well, at least somewhat. But I'm assuming, I'm not sure, I'm assuming this is female because of the female here. And so this would be the womb area, the giving birth, or having this in you, so to speak. While all this we can see is outside of her, here we can see the inner values and inner growth more than the outer. This is the way I see it, and I please remind you not take upon anyone's exact words, how they see the cards. You can build on the things yourself, but add your own. How do you see it? Open your everything to see what you are seeing in there, not just bluntly the bones and all this. So another 10 I'm struggling with. I struggled, like I explained in the suit of stones. Was it stones? Probably stones. So the 10 of stones and 10 of bones is so far off from the Rider-Waite for me. Here you can see harmony, the family and the different generations. Here there are many tooth missing, suggesting it's a bone of a, or mouth, nose of an old animal who has lost their teeth along or with the years. So this like tells about the old person in here who is like closest to us and more important. But also it's not telling me about the harmony. I see missing things here. I see the life's work, of course, because the teeth have done their work. But the abundance is not here for me at all. So I will read this card, not thinking about this, but having chewed your way out or into things and being like the one who has taken all the lessons from this, but also lost some things along the way. Probably smarter, but is this the right way? The grind way to chew yourself through it? Is there an easier way so you don't have to lose your teeth? Of course, this happens when you're old, but still, you can do a lot. When you're an animal, you probably can't, but as a person, you can do a lot to spare yourself from losing things along the way, to get to your goals or the. Here I can see just worn out culmination, or the 10, the end game is like we are here, but what is the cost? So now the chords that I'm struggling with. The bones makes more sense to me, so I can try to that. However, I have not done my homework and I don't know whose bones these are. So I just thought yesterday when I was recording the other cards, suits, I thought I will do the court cards like the aces, like separately. I will have to research a little bit before I can actually maybe see more or get some more insights into who's on here, why they are here, and what are they trying to tell us, or what can we see in those depictions, and how they make sense or do not make sense with the Rider-Waite system itself. So from the first glance, without knowing anything, I don't know whose bone it is, which, as it is pointed downwards. I want to say the not so much moving like this, but I can see the other things that page of coins or page of bones usually tells me. So yeah, I think the skull itself has more to say. The earth in here, okay, cool, but otherwise, yeah, chords are the cards in this deck that I keep struggling with still. But I want to give this deck a test run of in a client reading, so I have to make myself familiar with the chords by the end of the weekend. I'm going into a reading thing event on Sunday, and I want to give a test run for this deck because I have a strong feeling that this deck reads really well for clients. Okay, next, Knight of Coins or Knight of Bones, Rhino. Rhino makes sense, but knowing that rhinos are actually pretty dangerous, and I can't see the danger in the sky. This is the cool, the calm, the grounded, and the smirk on the face of this rhino is like this. I want to say it's more on the dangerous, evil side or the dark side of the Knight of Coins or Knight of Bones in this deck for me. Also the autumn or the already like dead or withered leaves of oak. Oak being the winner, the strong tree that lives long and all that. But rhinos are pretty dangerous if they and they are unpredictable a little bit, as much as I see, but there's no unpredictability in the sky. So again, let's leave it that and return with the information at hand. Now, this one I'm having struggles with. I want to say it's the saber-tooth tiger jawbone. I would have understood if this has maybe would have been the Knight of Swords, maybe, or something like that. But first of all, the species are, oh, I think that all the species are actually, this is not our nowadays rhino, it's something, maybe dinosaur, maybe it's a dinosaur or something, I can't recall. Then it makes sense with the knight, and then this has to be something that is distinct as well, because this is mammoth. I think we have a pattern here. These are all animals that are distinct and not anymore living on our planet. That is really interesting how it's fossils. Well, yet saber-tooth with the also calm and content queen. But yeah, the withered everything and fossil or the long gone animals on the bones. Chords is really interesting. I am making myself clear upon who they are, why they, and then to understand why they are. So mammoth somewhat makes sense. Again, you can see the moon and the sun on the queen and the king. This is throughout the deck on court cards. Yeah, I can't much comment more. The foliage used, I understand, in the Queen as well. The growth and everything that surrounds both of them, but Mammoth makes sense in a very general and vague way, but I'm sure there's more to it, and I will make my job to find out and then share it with you as well. So this was the wooden tarot. I will return with the aces side by side, and then I will make the chords more understandable for me, and will return with those as well. I wish you well. Thank you for bearing with me, and I hope this is helpful somewhat. If not meaning wise, maybe card meaning wise, I mean, maybe then learning wise, as I'm really not like trying to fit, even if the card deck is declared to be as a following something system. I am usually straying off from the systems because there's so much more in the cards, and this deck is a perfect example of actually having so much more in it than it seems from the first glance. It's intriguing and also fascinating, I want to say. So it evokes the mind and searching for the answers, like the archaeologist taking this little brush and trying to brush off the dirt from the secrets that are hiding underneath the surface. This is how this deck is for me, and yeah, I'm not blabbering more. We will meet again with the aces or the gods of this deck side by side. And thank you for watching. Have a wonderful whichever time of the day you are having, and happy learning your decks, happy discovering, and happy archaeologing. I'm inventing words. So thank you for watching, and bye.